Markets took a cue from their Asian peers and opened strongly in the green, but they were reversed in late trade. NDTV Profits Neeraj Shah is bringing us a wrap of all the market action.
Not quite the recovery that bulls may have been hoping for, because the market paired gains for the bit. From the levels that we started off with, this is a bit of a disappointment what's happened in the Nifty, and the Bank Nifty likely the principal culprit, down about 0.7% for the Bank Nifty. So the intraday of the indices look a bit sluggish or weak. Now, if you look at the heat map for the Nifty 50, it won't look all that bad because you will see 2 rows of green. But it was a lot more green when we started off, just about 4 stocks in the red. Compared to that, look at what happened to some of the life insurance names and financial names in the session today. Autos like M&M continued to sulk in trade, and a mixed set of companies really battling it out or bucking the trend, if you will. Britannia, but there is also JSW Steel, a Tech Mahindra, Larsen & Toubro. So a bit of technology, a bit of FMCG with a steel name thrown in, Adani Enterprises thrown in there. All over the place, really. The broader end of the spectrum too, the small cap index, which was up 2% at a point of time, really came off very, very rapidly, along with the mid cap index as well. And the BSE 500 losers and gainers list shows you that while there were gainers, and there were a lot of them, the list of losers was very liquid and fairly long as well. The gainers, Symphony along with Blue Star gave out a good set of numbers. Symphony reacted, Blue Star did not, down about 5% despite good margins, maybe slightly lower than estimated. Some strength for a First Source Solutions, some strength for a KPR Mills, which was symptomatic of what was happening to the textile companies today. All textile companies, KPR, Gokaldas, Arvind, all of them were up in trade, because presuming that what potentially could be Bangladesh's loss, if indeed Bangladesh losing out on some textile sourcing, could be India's gains. I think too soon to say that. A lot of defense names came under pressure today. Cochin's shipyard out here showing that, like I said, Blue Star, a results reaction. Adani Wilmar came off, EIH came off. So the list of losers was long too. Just that we didn't have the kind of carnage that we had in trade on Monday, but which is probably a welcome move. Let's see what the rest of the week has in store.
All right, Neeraj, thank you for that. And Nilesh Shah of Kotak Mahindra AMC says that foreign institutional investors and domestic institutional investors are playing real-life Lagan. Let's listen into that interesting comment.
If we look at India position, my feeling is that investors will look to buy into correction. Let's look at from a foreigner's point of view. The foreigners are today either equal weight India or marginal underweight India. There is a reasonably good chance that India's weightage in MSCI Emerging Market Index will go up. This will make many foreigners underinvested in India. Can they afford to remain underinvested in a growth market like India? Answer is undoubtedly no. So they will be using correction as an opportunity to invest. In every single IPO coming out of India, OFS coming out of India, we are seeing foreigners looking to buy and compete with mutual funds aggressively. Now let's look at domestic investors, insurance, mutual funds, pension funds. We all will be a buyer of India growth story. Let's look at retail and HNI. People who are expressing bearishness in the market are ultimately looking to buy at correction. So overall, my feeling is that corrections will be bought into. This time, investors have also become matured. This is real-life Lagan movie being playing out. As you know, in Lagan movie, local team defeated foreigners. In COVID time, we saw One Day International being played out, where foreigners were selling for March, April, May, June, July 2020. They sold close to 70 to 80,000 crore cash equity. Retailers via mutual fund kept on buying. Then foreigners realized that Lagan mein jeetna mushkil hai. So they started playing test match. From October 21 to June 22, they sold 250,000 crore worth of equity. Retailers kept on buying slowly and steadily. Finally, foreigners realized that retailers are going to win test match also. So they gave up on test match format, came into T20 format. On the election result, they played like T20, sold about 21,000 crore in cash and about 8,000 crore in futures. Retailers bought that into. So my feeling is that there is a real life Lagan being played between domestic investors and global investors, and everyone will be looking to buy into correction. Now, someone may buy a 10% correction, someone may buy a 20% correction, but every correction will be bought into by local and global investors.
And the Ola Electric IPO, first by an Indian automaker, was subscribed 4.2 to 6 times on the final day of the 3-day share sale. While the retail response has been muted, the qualified institutional buyers have stepped up to get the IPO subscribed more than 3 times on the final day itself. Now, the IPO consists of a fresh issue of 72.4 crore shares worth 5,500 crore rupees. And baby products maker, first prize parent company, Brainbe Solutions has hit the Indian markets today. The public issue will remain open till August the 8th. The IPO price band has been fixed at 440 to 465 rupees per equity share. Brainbe Solutions aim to raise more than 4,000 crore rupees from the IPO. Out of the total amount, more than 1,600 crore is aimed to be raised through the issuance of fresh shares. The IPO was subscribed 11% today. And in fact, India's Monetary Policy Committee meeting was on today, with the committee set to announce its decision on Thursday. Now, this is the first meeting after the final union budget, and the Fed has signaled chances of a rate cut in September. So it is also the current MPC's last meeting before its term ends and new members are appointed. During the tenure of the current MPC, the 4% target has eluded the committee, but for justifiable reasons such as the ongoing volatility caused by vegetable prices currently. Now, all economists polled by Bloomberg expect the MPC to maintain status quo. The benchmark lending rate, or the repo rate, is set to likely remain unchanged at 6.5%. And Amazon's head of India operations, Manish Tiwari, has stepped down. Amit Agarwal, who is the SVP for emerging markets at the company, will now work with the India business team closely. Tiwari has resigned after serving the company for 8 years. Amazon has not elaborated on Tiwari's future endeavors. And Zepto is considering moving its headquarters to Bengaluru from Mumbai. The potential reason behind this is to unite its tech teams with the other key operational teams now currently present across 2 cities. Rishabh Bhatnagar sent us this report earlier.
Right, so Zepto is considering moving to Bengaluru, the tech capital of India, from Mumbai. Now, this is due to a couple of issues. One is the leasing issues in their current property, which is WeWork in Powai. There are some leasing issues with that. And also, the company has sort of outgrown that space. The location isn't that great. And that is what is prompting this move to Bengaluru. Another major incentive, of course, is that about half its team is already present in Bengaluru, including the entire tech team. Co-founder Kavalya Vora is also present there, apart from the chief financial officer as well. While Mumbai does have a lot of other key operational teams, with CEO Adit Palicha also being present in Mumbai. So most probably we will see Zepto moving to Bengaluru. This will also put it in close proximity to rivals like Flipkart and Swiggy, who sort of dominate this Q-commerce and e-commerce space. So an interesting move on the cards for Zepto.
Now, Google has been handed a legal blow. Amit Mehta, an Indian origin US judge, has ruled that the tech giant has violated the antitrust law and that it used exclusive agreements to make itself the default search engine on devices. The trial also revealed that Google has paid billions to Apple to remain the default ad provider and search engine in its devices. The ruling said that these agreements have provided Google with an unfair advantage over its competitors and created an illegal search monopoly. This has paved the way for a second trial to determine possible remedies for the antitrust breach, which has left the market to speculate, affecting stocks of both Alphabet and Apple. Malaysia's Petronas Group-backed green energy firm Gentar has announced a new clean energy app to be launched in India. Nikhil Thomas, the CEO of Green Mobility Gentar India, talks about how the app offers solutions for businesses and end users to lease out electric vehicles.
Gentari again is run by three pillars, the renewable side, hydrogen and green mobility. Of course, all of these three businesses have their own tracks, agendas to kind of, or targets to kind of achieve in the next 3 years. From a green mobility side, right, we have identified two clear business verticals, right? The vehicle as a service, which is all about providing that affordability factor, right? Or bringing down that affordability factor for our customers, right? And especially fleet customers. So what we're essentially doing is we're kind of buying these vehicles, bundling it into a lease model, and then eliminating that upfront capex cost that a customer would have actually paid for, right? So that's the vehicle as a service, right? And the second is the charge point. So not only are we creating B2C charge points, but also creating hubs for B2B customers also.
Now, when we scroll through social media, we come across so many tips and tricks to save money, but do they actually work? Today on our special personal finance segment of Adulting 101, we break down a few of those popular hacks so you can start your savings journey.
Imagine you've been eyeing the latest gadget in the market, but you hesitate because of a money-saving tip you saw online. It's a popular trick and everyone seems to be talking about it. But are these hacks just fleeting trends or do they actually work? Spoiler alert, it depends. Everyone's got something different that works for them, but here are 4 that could be worth experimenting with. Hack number 1 is following the 30-day rule. This hack suggests waiting 30 days before making a big purchase. The idea is that if you still really want the item after a month, it's a genuine need rather than an impulse buy. Hack number 2 is meal prepping. This can save you money and help you eat healthier, but the time investment might not pay off if you have a busy schedule or don't enjoy cooking. Hack number 3 is using loyalty programs, cashback offers, and reward points from various apps and stores. Now, these rewards can add up over time, but managing multiple programs can be a hassle, and the savings might not be as significant as expected. Hack number 4 is envelope budgeting. Withdraw cash for different spending categories and place it into labeled envelopes. Now, this traditional approach helps control spending, but using cash for everything might not be practical in today's digital world. But every coin has a flip side. Not all hacks preached on social media work, like constantly switching credit cards for better rewards. This can actually hurt your credit score and lead to missed payments. And overly strict budgets are simply not realistic. It can be tough to maintain and might lead to overspending. At the end of the day, every person's budgeting plan is different, but experimenting with these hacks could be a great way to start your savings journey.
Well, it is time for a short break, but on the other side, we bring you the latest on the situation in Bangladesh. When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Listen to the voices of reason as they talk about corporate health and investing principles with me, Neeraj Shah, on my show, Talking Point.
Let's be real, guys. There are many financial experts out there. Which stocks to target? What's good for long term? When to buy? When to sell? How do you stay ahead of all the financial noise to achieve your dreams?
You can accomplish all your financial dreams. Let us worry about giving you the right investing insights on the Portfolio Manager.
And welcome back. Global markets seem to be on a roller coaster ride. Wall Street rose slightly after recording its worst session on Monday as global markets sold off. S&P 500 rose nearly 0.5%, Dow advanced around 0.3% and Nasdaq rose more than 0.2%. European markets, however, were struggling to shake off Monday's volatility and traded mixed. The bounce back comes after Asian markets rebounded from the global sell-off, especially the Japanese Nikkei 225, which advanced more than 10%, posting its best day since October 2008. Well, moving on to the top international news now. A day after the former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled to India, the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar told Parliament that the government is in touch with authorities in Dhaka and monitoring the situation regarding minorities in Bangladesh. Making a statement in the Rajya Sabha, Jaishankar said that Hasina sought approval to come to India at a short notice.
On 5th August, demonstrators converged in Dhaka despite the curfew. Our understanding is that after a meeting with leaders of the security establishment, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina apparently made the decision to resign. At very short notice, she requested approval to come for the moment to India. We simultaneously received a request for flight clearance from Bangladesh authorities. She arrived yesterday evening in Delhi. The situation in Bangladesh, sir, is still evolving. The Army Chief, General Waqar-uz-Zaman, addressed the nation on 5th August. He spoke about assuming responsibility and constituting an interim government. We are in close and continuous touch with the Indian community in Bangladesh through our diplomatic missions. There are an estimated 19,000 Indian nationals there, of which about 9,000 are students. The bulk of the students, however, have already returned to India in the month of July on the advice of the High Commission. In terms of our diplomatic presence, in addition to the High Commission in Dhaka, we have Assistant High Commissions in Chittagong, Rajshahi, Khulna, and Sylhet. It is our expectation that the host government will provide the required security protection for these establishments. We look forward to their normal functioning once the situation stabilizes.
Now, unrest in Bangladesh, of course, is continuing as protesters have called for the Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus to lead an interim government. This comes after the resignation of Sheikh Hasina. In response to the escalating violence, the Ministry of External Affairs has issued a strong advisory urging Indian nationals to avoid travel to Bangladesh until further notice. The advisory comes amid fresh protests causing significant casualties and widespread unrest. We're now joined by Muhammad Ibrahim Mojid of the Dhaka Tribune from Dhaka, and he's bringing us the latest from there.
So latest that interim government hasn't sworn in right now. Dr. Mohammad Yunus, a Nobel laureate, the students of the quota movement, they proposed his name as the leader of the interim government, and as far as I know, Yunus agreed to it. However, we do not want an interim government. The students and the people of Bangladesh do not want an interim government. They want a democratically elected government right now, as Awami League is almost inexistent in Bangladesh right now. There is a very big power vacuum. Awami League was one of the oldest party of the country. Now it remains a question that who will come to power, and students are demanding for a free and fair election.
Now, the Nobel laureate and Grameen Bank founder Mohammad Yunus told NDTV Profit in an exclusive interview that the situation in Bangladesh today was similar to when the country got freedom from Pakistan in 1971.
Well, of course, that's a very important issue, law and order. That's where it all began. They completely collapsed. And that's led to the demand for resignation of the government, resignation of the prime minister, and it finally led to that resignation. Today, there's a celebration of the kind that we had on 16 December 1971, when we freed ourselves from Pakistanis. And now we got rid of a very totalitarian government. So there's a lot of celebration all over the country, not just not the Dhaka city, millions of people out in the street enjoying their freedom, that finally we get free from all those difficulties that we have got through. So that's, we're enjoying it, and we see that a new era is beginning in Bangladesh. Finally got rid of the people who have been torturing them, creating problems for them, and corruptions and everything all over the country. So now,
Yunus, is it not your worry, sir? Is it not your worry that there would be more instability going forward? One of the points mentioned...
Hopefully, the instability can be packed into a box and keep it there. That's what Hasina was trying to do. Or instability to come out to create a stability, because ultimate goal, ultimate cure, ultimate medicine of stability is to bring democracy that was completely denied in Bangladesh.
Now, the Bangladesh crisis is not just a political issue, but can also have a major impact on trade. Multiple Indian companies have exposure to Bangladesh, either as a market or as a supply chain component. Stocks of these companies have reacted to the current situation in Bangladesh, and Mahima has more of a detailed analysis.
Well, because of the ongoing Bangladesh crisis, textile stocks were in focus in the Indian markets today. Bangladesh is the second largest garment exporting country in the world, and around $47 billion worth ready-made garments were exported in 2023. They also have a high double-digit share in the EU markets, and because of this crisis, there is expectation that this could divert textile export orders to India. Now, a couple of textile names that are buzzing in trade today include Gokuldas Exports, KPR Mills, Vardhaman Textiles, Arvind Limited, we also had Trident, and we also had Wellspun Living. But moving on, a whole host of companies have exposure in Bangladesh. To start with FMCG companies, well, Marico's 44% of international business comes from Bangladesh, and 11% of the total revenue comes from Bangladesh. Marico's Bangladesh revenue for FY24 was around 1100 odd crores. Now, in terms of Imami's 6% of total revenue in FY24 came from Bangladesh. Imami's Bangladesh subsidiary contributes to this 6% of revenue, and it clocked revenue worth rupees 17,400 crores. Now, moving on, we also have companies like Asian Paints, which also have subsidiary in Bangladesh. The revenue from subsidiaries is around 10 crore. They also have royalty income of 12 crore, and they also have a loan of around 12 crore from Standard Chartered Bank of Bangladesh. Moving on, Pidilite Industries also have exposure in Bangladesh. Their subsidiary, which is Pidilite Specialty Chemicals, profits from this company contributed around 4.23% in FY24 overall. We also have VST Industries, where 30 to 35% of their manufacturing supply comes from Bangladesh. But moving on, there are also railway and defense companies in focus, which have significant order wins from Bangladesh. We have Rights, where 200 broad gauge coaches from Bangladesh contract is there. The order value is roughly 906 crore. And we also have Garden Reach Shipbuilders, where they have received an overall contract of rupees 21 million. Now, moving forward, we also have power companies like NHPC and BEML in focus. Now, these companies are building power-based plants in Bangladesh via a joint venture. Moving on, if we see, there are a whole host of other companies, pharma companies like Sun Pharma, which has recently inaugurated a new subsidiary in Bangladesh. And we also have Airtel, which operates under the name of Robi Axita in Bangladesh. So all of these companies combined together have exposure in Bangladesh and could see some impact because of the ongoing crisis in Bangladesh.
So quite a detailed explainer coming in from Mahima there. Moving on to the Olympics, Vinesh Fogart and Neeraj Chopra made it to the headlines in the Paris Olympics, while Vinesh Fogart qualified for the next round of the women's freestyle 50 kg. Neeraj Chopra has entered the men's javelin throw finals, and Aditya Rao has been tracking all this and is joining us. Aditya, so quite an upbeat day from the Olympics for us.
So we are gathering some great news from Paris Olympics that Vinesh Fogart has finally reached the semi-final of women's wrestling in 50 kg category. She won her both quarter-final and round of 16 on the same day. In round of 16, she has beaten Yui Sasaki of Japan, and it was a historic win because until the final few moments, Vinesh Fogart was losing by 2-0, and in the last few seconds, Vinesh Fogart managed to clinch the match by 3-2. And she again won the quarter-final bout to reach the semi-final against the Ukrainian wrestler, and now Vinesh Fogart is eyeing for a medal in the Paris Olympics after she failed to get a medal in last two Olympics, and this is the third time that Vinesh Fogart has been participating in the Olympics, and she is quite close to the medal right now. And another news that we are gathering from Paris is that our golden boy Neeraj Chopra, India's golden boy, has reached the final of javelin throw and will play his final round tomorrow, and we will hope that Neeraj Chopra gets, because he is the defending champion right now, so we will hope that Neeraj Chopra gets yet another gold medal for India.
All right, Aditya, thank you very much for joining us on that, and of course we do hope for the best for the Indian team. That's all we have time for right now on Profit 360. Thank you for joining us. When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news